Hi, my name is Erica Ernst, and I am the Director of Bands at Elm Grove Middle School in Bossier Parish. As an educator, I am most passionate about creating spaces where every student feels that they belong and can express themselves through music. I believe that the heart of education lives in connection between teacher and student, and between students and the communities that they serve. The students in this video are middle school musicians in grades 6 through 8. We're working within the Louisiana Arts Standards for Performing and Responding, focusing on Unbroken by Randall Stanridge. The objective of this lesson is for students to demonstrate awareness of ensemble balance and blend, apply dynamic contrast intentionally, and reflect on how their individual sounds contribute to the group's unified expression. Before this lesson, we explored the story behind Unbroken, and we discussed themes of mental health awareness and resilience. Those conversations gave the students the emotional context for what they'll be performing today. In the next segment, you'll see them rehearse collectively, listening, adjusting, and using visual waveforms, as well as peer-led conducting to refine balance and tone. These techniques reach all learners, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. Our classroom includes students of varied backgrounds and experience levels. So the lessons are scaffolded through layered parts, small group leadership, and reflective checklists. Each student has a meaningful role and responsibility that reinforces both accountability and community. What makes this work meaningful is its impact beyond performance. My students are learning to lead, to listen, and to lift one another up through their music. That's what drives me as a teacher, to build musicianship with heart and to help students see that their voices, both musical and personal, truly matter. First, listen, okay? That's the first thing. I just want you to listen with an open mind and an open heart and let yourself be in this piece of music, okay? So for us to do that, what I'd like for you to do is close your eyes, bow your head, and relax, okay? You're just gonna listen. I already explained to you that the title of this piece is called Fragile, okay? So when we start talking about titles of a work, what do you think this one means? Noah?
That you're fragile.
You're fragile. How so? What does fragile mean? Easily broken. That's the exact definition of fragile. When we start talking about being fragile, and we're talking about people instead of objects, what does that look like to you?
Shows how we are, how we're broken.
Okay. How many of you feel broken sometimes? Yeah, I'll be honest, me too. Okay, hands down. I'm going to share why Mr. Standridge, who's one of my all-time favorite composers for this very specific series, I'm going to share with you why he wrote this piece, okay? And then I want you we're going to listen to it again, and I want you to hear what emotions you might have heard through the piece, and we're going to talk about those, okay? And then we'll talk about how we can actually apply that to music. All right, so music has been a place where I have turned to create a family, but I think that most days some of us just say that we're okay and we put one foot in front of the other and we do the best that we can to keep moving forward. But I think that it's really important in here that you know that you are not alone. All right, everybody put your finger on measure 21 for me. You're going to clap and count. Clap and count. your part and your part only. Clap and count your part and your part only. Alright, so there's a fermata there, yes? Raise your hand and tell me what a fermata means. Tuck.
So it means like you have to wait for the bender interval?
Yes, so we cut you off. And typically, I'm going to hold that double what it's worth, okay? So if there's a half note, I'm going to hold it a whole note value. But you did something musically that we will do during the piece. What do we do musically at the end? Okay, do it again. What did we do? Bree? We sustained, okay? Some people started to sustain.
I think we started today crescendo a little bit.
Okay, decrescendo. We're getting there. What happens usually when you guys play softer? Less energy, and what happens when we have less energy? What happens to the tempo when we have less energy? We slow down. Did you hear yourself slow down twice? Raise your hand if you think you have that part. Join them. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we can move in time. Now we're gonna move in time. Melody people. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so that is the measure that we're looking at right now, A today. I want you to think not only about the notes, okay, but what unbroken is about, and then carrying this load together. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to listen to the first 20 seconds. As far as we're going to go for the first idea. We have this first crescendo. What did you feel during the first crescendo? That first entrance as the clarinets come in. Da, dee, da, da, da. What do you feel when that happens? That first crescendo?
Like a calmness.
Okay, stillness, calmness. As you crescendo, you go up. What happens when you get to the decrescendo? You're gradually getting softer. Okay, what kind of texture is contributing to the feeling of the music here? What's happening musically that's contributing to the feeling of this piece? Bree?
The
Dynamics. Dynamics 100%. Okay, what happens in measure 8? It's a fermata followed by what? In the music. Jacob.
A rest, like
A grand pause. So he's got those 2 slashes. Those are railroad markings. What can a pause represent in music? What happened when you heard that pause?
the entire band stopped playing. There wasn't a single sound.
There was no sound. And emotionally, or as far as mood goes, what happened? What happens then? What does the silence help create? Bryce? Suspense. Okay. MJ? Tension. And then after we breathe, what happens, Jacob?
We go back to like how it was.
It's a resolve.
Yeah.
Right? And then we get a chance to start over. All right. So let's start at the very beginning. Play confidently, but not aggressively, okay? What's your mood? Think about it for yourself. Right? And ready? How is the balance contributing to the feeling of the music? Or taking away from the feeling of the music? Yeah, you have ba, ba, ba. Can I have that, please? What's your mood? What are you going for, Jackson? What emotion?
Soft and slow, just like.
Soft and slow. Okay, emotionally, give me a feeling. red. There we go. Everybody's like, okay, I can feel that through my music. Yeah. And can you push on ba ba ba, because it's doing what? What is it doing? Crescendoing. Are we crescendoing yet? Okay, can we crescendo? Can we crescendo? So we're going to start here. Do, 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 do. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Do you hear how they're not there yet? Do you hear how they're not there, and you peak before them? Can you peak together? They're not there. They're saving it just where I asked them to. Da, da, those are the strongest notes, da, and then they'll start to decrescendo. You guys meet them at beat 3, that's your peak, and you start to decrescendo. I need you to wait all the way to beat 1 to decrescendo, okay? Cool. You like that effect better? Okay, all right, so it's amazing what happens when one of you, one section and another section are trying to come together and carry that load. Okay, and I think that's what's the most important thing about this whole project, is that we can come together and carry the load. That's the gun, guys. Me, then you're out of time for today. Okay, good job. Good job. We'll keep bits and pieces for the rest of the week. Love you, get out of here. When reflecting on this lesson, I can confidently say that our objectives were met. Students demonstrate increased awareness of balance and blend. They used dynamic contrast intentionally and made thoughtful adjustments in real time. I could hear and see their growth, from how they watched each other for cues and how they listened across the ensemble and redefined their sound together. What stood out was the shift in ownership. By the end of the segment, students were not waiting for my direction. They were actively leading one another. They gave peer feedback and applied it immediately. They took responsibility for the collective sound of the ensemble, and that tells me that learning went beyond the technique. They understood the purpose behind the music. If I were to adjust anything next time, I would build in an extra few minutes for student reflection at the end and give them more time to articulate what they learned. I feel like this would deepen the social and emotional connection to the piece, and it would give me richer data to guide further instruction. After this teaching segment, students continued rehearsing Unbroken with a stronger sense of awareness and empathy. Later, they performed it publicly, and the outcome was powerful. Families and audience members commented on how the music made them feel seen and inspired. For my students, that performance became evidence that their work in the classroom has real emotional and communal impact. Following the performance, we revisited their reflections and discussed how collaboration in music mirrors collaboration in life, and how every voice matters, and how balance is built through listening. That conversation helped reinforce the deeper goal of the unit, and that through music, students can learn leadership, empathy, and a shared purpose. What I hope is clear from this lesson is that the classroom environment you see was built through trust, structure, and authentic relationships. Students know that they are valued, challenged, and supported, and that combination is what drives both engagement and excellence. In the end, this lesson wasn't just about dynamics or balance. It was about helping students understand what they create together matters. That's the heart of education for me. Learning connection and courage expressed through community and music.